should be pretty good. Welcome. Today we're going to be cutting up some Army film. Hopefully, I did not get a chance to watch this game. I'm sure many of you did. All I really saw was the final score on an ESPN alert. So I'm excited to watch it. 2-0 is obviously better than, well, a lot of teams at the moment, and definitely better than the teams that haven't played. So I'll be hanging out here for as long as I can. I don't know, I might have something come up and have to jump off, but for the time being, this should be all right. I'm still trying to figure out how to get my desktop audio to work. Apparently that's harder on a Mac than it is on a PC, so if there is audio issues, I apologize. Actually, I apologize, and I should also say, let me know. I should actually do this normally and just have, I need my test audio just to make sure. One of these days, I'll be able to get all my like cool widgets and GIFs and audio clips working. But otherwise, I'll be here hanging out, answering questions. I'll be talking through things I see, and otherwise, just kind of doing some video editing for as long as I can. So with that said, let's go to our editing program. I know people typically ask me this. I still use Camtasia 3. If you're on Twitch, you should be able to, somewhere in the About section, I think I have everything that I use. Thank you, Scott, for letting me know that you can hear me. I'm never sure. What I'm really hoping is something, oh, actually, that's what I was going to do. I need to be able to see my stream on my phone and then see if the other stuff will come through. So I don't know how far it is back. So I want to see if something like this.
I am never going to financially recover.
Will here. Give me like 2 seconds for it to get to my screen. I know this is thrilling. Hey, it worked. All right. Cool. All the time I spent figuring that out, I had to figure out the workaround, but it does work. So now I've got my full accompaniment of fun things I can use. Or just play like the horn, right? Which one did I have as the horn? I think this one. Let's do. And of course that one's not going to work, but let's try.
Hello?
There we go.
You play to win the game.
Okay. I'm in a much better mood now. That's been bothering me for like a week. Let's see. This is going to be really a long game. They didn't start with the ball. That's probably about where they're going to start. Get this first clip set up in the right place. There we go. All right. And hopefully that means you'll also get some system audio when I play.
Up yesterday.
All right. So regular bass, they're out in, I mean, most people would qualify this. I would probably, this is tough. 3-4, the safety rolled down.
And we talked on that very topic. The handoff on the first.
I mean, starting. Oh wait, I don't need to figure out what these plays are. I just need to cut the stuff.
Play from scrimmage for the Black.
Didn't get the. Didn't pre-do the first part. Haven't had a whole lot of time. But on the bright side, we're starting 3 days a week doing COVID workouts. So at least I'm doing some football stuff. Now. But we had to cancel practice on Saturday due to the ACT, so I'm sure other coaches will feel the pain of that, but figure if you can take the ACT, probably beats a random day of Saturday football practice when our season doesn't start until February. Ugh. Usually I expect CBS to be a better network, but I can already tell they're cutting their stuff. They're cutting these plays very tightly. So this is going to be an Army. Are they going to go for it on 4th here? Yes, they are. And I'm going to assume this is going to be a quick snap. So I was correct. And good first down. Looking pretty methodical so far. I guess this is the first time for people that are viewing, cutting up the normal Army tape. Since Army's been winning, I've been doing their film, or at least I've enjoyed doing their film more so far this year. I didn't watch that first Navy game because it sounds like there probably wasn't a whole lot to get out of that. A lot of quick jump cuts back to the ball snapping already. What was I going to say? What was I going to announce? The breaking news here. Do I have any type of breaking news sound? No, I don't. But I will be appearing on a podcast that we're recording on Friday. So I'll have some new media to put up, and once that goes live, I'll make sure to share the link out to everyone, where we're going to talk some flexbone, some triple option, my story, how I got to where I am. Apparently someone might want to listen to that. So we're recording that Friday. Not sure when it'll be released. But you can bet I will post that link everywhere once I get it. Scott asks, aside from the academies in Georgia Tech, are there any FBS teams running Flexbone? Georgia Tech no longer does. And FBS, no, I think everyone else is going to be D3 or FCS. Because I'm thinking, I still think Georgia Southern runs it, the Citadel, Eastern New Mexico, Kennesaw State. I'm sure there's a bunch I'm forgetting, which is par for the course. I still think there's a huge opportunity, especially at the D1 level. I feel like I rant about this a lot, but almost anyone should be able to run it. It's not necessarily the most, well, I think it's flashy, but for the average football fan, probably doesn't enjoy it as much. But for anyone that struggles in recruiting, anyone that struggles with just size, if Stanford wasn't, if the great Jim Harbaugh didn't build Stanford to be a good program, someone like Stanford, or I would even say like Northwestern, any like academic institution that has a harder time recruiting, because I would love to see it more. If someone started running it in the Big Ten, I think they would have a lot of success, because I don't think Big Ten teams are typically used to doing it. Nebraska probably should go back to it. Shout out to my friends at Nebraska. And rip Bo Pelini. Although as of a few minutes ago, I think they said the Big Ten voted for there to be football this season. So I am stoked about that. Oh, This looks like a quick 3 and out by Louisiana. Yeah, Scott, I agree. It's my favorite offense to watch. I mean, to know the intricacies of it is really nice. But you always have the opportunity for it to be a big play because you're really banking on the defense being able to play assignment football, which at the high school level, it's really hard for high school players to play assignment football. It's also really difficult for college players to play assignment football, especially if you're trying to prepare for an offense that you're only going to see once and you only have a few days to do it. But I think the reason people will a lot of times ask me like why we don't see more of it in the NFL, and frankly, the athletes are just really good. So whereas you're purposely leaving those 2 guys unblocked, you're kind of taking the chance that those 2 guys aren't going to be able to make the play. Well, in the NFL, when you have the best athletes playing, they're a lot harder to read, and they're going to be able to close the gap that the flexbone uses to run through a lot faster. Every so often, you'll see some elements, but you wouldn't be able to do that as a primary source of offense. Can't tell what they're reviewing there. CBS is killing me with where these plays are starting. You guys will have to tell me. I have no idea if I should try to find music that I can play without getting in trouble for. Otherwise, I feel the need to just kind of drone on and keep talking. Oh, first quarter already done. That's a fast first quarter. I guess because Army had the ball almost the whole time. Just running the whole time. I don't think, unless I'm misremembering, that Army's attempted a pass yet. And it's always weird because I don't watch the games live, and I'm really only making my assumptions on the game based on this period and when I actually watch the individual plays. But it looks like Army's defense is playing really well. Obviously, the competition hasn't been the most equal, but still 2 wins early in the season. COVID and all things considered. 2 wins is 2 wins. Did I just miss another play? No, that was a replay. CBS. Well, I'm not going to be able to tell what that play was or what formation it was, but whatever. Yeah, Scott, that's a good point, especially having a pro QB and pro passing rules in the NFL. Their product, they've gone a lot more towards passing, all their quarterback protections, all the pass interference rules. They're really trying to drive teams to pass. And when you couple that with you're paying however many millions of dollars a year for a quarterback, putting them directly in harm's way, probably not the best business decision. Whereas, you have to build your team around having that depth. Oh boy. That'll be a fun one to watch. I was reading something today as far as quarterback hits, and still staying in the NFL. It's not necessarily, flexbone related, but I think they said Kyler Murray ran the ball 17 times. And then, what did they say? And like 16 of those were either touchdowns or he ran out of bounds. So he only actually got hit once, which, out of 17 times, that's great. I don't know if you could necessarily have that same type of average in this offense. But as a coach, I do wonder if the coaches are either game planning that or coaching that of, obviously you don't want your big quarterback taking big hits. The nice part about the flex bone, especially at the high school level, is your quarterback's not set up for a lot of big hits because so many players are reading and people are confused as to where the ball is. So you're not taking a lot of direct shots, or at least, full speed direct shots. But once you get out on the perimeter, there is always the opportunity to, take a big hit, get face masked, get late hit out of bounds. So no quarterback's going to be completely safe, but there are definitely things you can do. Yeah. I didn't see any of the replay of Kyler Murray. I just read an article that like the one time he actually got tackled inbounds, it was like dragged down by his jersey or something like that. So that's good news for them if they can keep him healthy. All running quarterbacks want to stay healthy. That's kind of been the knock. You have to have a reliable backup at that point. And you can see the Patriots' difference in how they took advantage of Cam Newton in game 1 versus Tom Brady. It just opens up whole other parts of the offense. For some of that New England game, it really looked like they were just playing Madden back in the day when like Michael Vick was playing. You were like, nope, I'm just going to naked boot around the corner, and there's nothing you can do about it. My brother used to do that to me all the time. That's when you had to just QB spy with like Ray Lewis. I'm probably dating myself though. Well, dating myself either as old for people who don't know who those people are, or young for people that realize what era they were playing. Probably use John Lynch as a spy too. That was before I understood football. At this level anyway. Just some punk kid. Did they actually get a playoff there? No, they didn't. Good, that was looking ugly too. Oh. Apologies if you hear the dog. Apparently the dog next door is barking, which is causing my puppy to bark. Hopefully it shouldn't be too much trouble. If it is, I'll go take care of it. Ooh, it's a 4th down stop. Oh, nice show, Cam Newton. Almost on cue when I bring him up. Let's see, this game would have been recorded or played Saturday, so before Cam played on Sunday. I tweeted out to see if there were high school Flexbone teams that were streaming their games. I had a good number of people reply. And then I wound up getting busy Friday night and didn't get a chance to watch. So I apologize to all of you. Although maybe this Friday, got to figure out what my schedule is going to be. One of these days I should just like watch the game, live stream some type of high school game, and we can just hang out and watch, see what's going on. If you're a Flexbone coach and you're playing Friday nights, a lot of times I'm not doing anything. Other than this weekend when I'm recording that podcast. I should get the name to that podcast. I totally forgot what it was. if I'm going to plug it like that. I'm new at this. I don't even know how to plug things. Let's see if I can find the name. Thrilling stuff. With Darren Sheffer. Almost there. Oh, Spotify doesn't like it. Let's try podcasts. The Armchair Coaching Podcast. I knew that. Shoot. Sorry, Darren. Armchair Coaching Podcast. We're recording Friday. Yes, hopefully Navy does start playing against Tulane. I feel like if I remember looking, I think it's Army and Navy's schedule. I think they both play a few other Flexbone teams. So I think that's going to be fairly interesting to be able to do both sides of it. All right, thanks, Scott. Appreciate you stopping by as always. A few Flexbone on Flexbone matchups, which are always interesting. I do think Air Force is... Sorry, I was jabbing first, second, third down. Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think Air Force is only playing 2 games this year, and it's against Army and against Navy, so we'll see how that turns out. Could definitely be an interesting one. Although it would be funny if Air Force only plays 2 games and then beats Army and Navy to win the Commander's Cup, I think is what it's called. Forgive me, Armed Forces? That's not a real word. Armed Forces Friends. Just what everyone's afraid of. Army going to the air. Looks like he got tied up at the corner. Ty goes to the offense, but there's a false start. Maybe it was Army that's playing other Flexbone teams, or I just assume that like Georgia Southern's still a Flexbone team. Or no, the Citadel. Someone has the Citadel on their schedule. Oh. Man, this game is wild with how fast Army is getting up to the line. Oh, that's going to be a timeout, I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for checking up on those schedules for Army and Navy. Between coaching, streaming, and actually watching football, there's so much that I feel like I don't get to see, or it's hard to keep up on everything. Did they ice the kicker? All right, well, that's fine. I think Army should get the ball to start the second half. All these recordings are a little bit different on how much of halftime they actually include, so sometimes it takes forever. Oh, nope, this skipped right past all the garbage at halftime, which I appreciate because it's less for me to have to track through. All right. Both my dogs are prowling right around my arm. If you see them pop up at the bottom. Or bump my elbow and make me lose my place. CBS can't even show the replay before Army is back up, running their next play. Three and out for Army right after the half. Louisiana Monroe was going for it on fourth and then got a penalty and punted it away. Looks like they've already got the countdown going. 91 days until the Army-Navy game. Hopefully Navy figures out their current issues. It is weird because I do tend to root for these teams, but as far as like which branch of the armed services, like cheering one over the other, I get to be kind of a fair weather fan. But my grandfather was in the Navy. I don't know too much about it. So like if I had to choose one, that might be it. I also unfortunately had to grow up a Notre Dame fan. Not that I am anymore, but it was great the year that Navy finally beat Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame, I just really hope loses every game. Is this a fake? That was a fake. Oh, all right, good. We're going to have more offense. So aside from the podcast later this week, I have to imagine, I don't know how interesting these cut-ups that are watching me like video edit really are. I had a lot of fun talking about offensive line. Was that last week? Yeah, last week. So probably going to continue kind of that idea of that series of talking about position groups and drills and keys and what's going on. After that request for O-line. If you haven't watched the O-line video, it should be up. I also tried to like clip it so that you didn't have to watch like the full thing, because apparently the interwebs say that people are more likely to just watch short clips. So I'm going to try to do better at clipping those. And I have to learn, like the video has to process for you to be able to clip it. It's a weird process, but this is all kind of, wait, I did get the touchdown, right? Yeah. It's a bit of a weird process. It's learning on the go, so I appreciate anyone watching this live or in the future that I'm just making this stuff up as I don't know who's on that sign, who those people are. Baby Yoda and what looks like Jared Fogle, although it's probably not Jared Fogle, anymore. Maybe like 10 years ago it was Jared Fogle. If you don't remember, Jared Fogle is the Subway guy who I believe is now possibly in jail. Was that back-to-back fake punts? Maybe. Wait, hold on. What did I just watch? Yeah. False started. That's a bummer. What was I ranting on about? Right. Just figuring this out as I go along. I am going to have some other stream/video enhancements. I got a peek at the new logo that will be coming soon, so I'm excited about that. With that, probably going to fix some of the overlays and try to make it look like a more cohesive experience. I think there's going to be merchandise. That still seems weird to me that people might want that, but hey, why not, right? All with the hope that between this and or between this and my real job, or wow, this and coaching, I could support myself. And if I really wanted to, I could quit my day job. Not that I want to do that yet, but it's nice to know in this time period that I could survive if need be. Although, I guess that's banking on Illinois being able to play high school sports. It's probably not the smartest idea. But if anyone is interested in starting their own stream, I've got all kinds of opinions and things you should read. People make a lot of deal about like equipment, and like equipment's nice. Apparently, like I've done some lighting and like a microphone and my boom mic, so I look official. But none of those are really needed. I also didn't like the microphone like immediately in front of me when I had to type, because I had to like have my elbows out so I didn't hit it and I couldn't see the keys. But there's a lot of cool things you can do, learning how to do like transitions between scenes and, you know, trying to figure out how to add music and add different audio, figuring out how to add your own like little soundboard of, you know, like if we wanted Allen Iverson, right?
We talking
like,
about practice.
talking about
not
practice.
a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
That's the only fun part. I know we Scott earlier was talking about Macs. I've been a Mac guy since I was in college, but I hadn't found a good use for the touch bar at the very top of the new Macs until I figured out how to make it like a sound and GIF board. So, oh darn, that's a great play. So if you too are interested in how to turn your touch bar into a random soundboard, all the better. I think if I continue doing this, not that I'm going to be like a pro streamer by any means, but they actually sell what's really just a glorified like small keyboard that you can plug in to basically, you know, you map the keys to what you want it to do. And it's like, well, if I press this key, I want to show people this element. And if I press this key, I want to play this sound. Which looks fun. I don't know. It's like $150. So I'm not in any hurry to get that. It might be on the Christmas list. Hint, hint, if my in-laws ever wind up watching this. But just know, I am well aware that I am new to this and making it up as I go along. Jesus, come on, CS. On another note, it is actually starting to feel like fall now. Temperature in Chicago has dropped like 30 degrees in like a week, under a week. And it's been gross and rainy the last couple of days, so at least it was sunny today. Which will be nice. I hope it stays this temperature for a while. It'll make our like COVID team workouts that much better. Lance asks, have I ever seen footage of Georgia Tech UNC from 2009? I don't know if is there a specific reason, as if you want to see it. I think that's before I started doing these videos. I think I started doing them in 2013. Maybe like the 2013 bowl game into 2014. I could always see. I know there's enough sources out there to try to find video. but you'd have to tell me if there was anything specific, Lance, that you were looking for. I mean, most of the time I just use YouTube. Every so often I have to use some coaching channels and message boards and Twitter to try to get film, but that's a while ago. Oh, you can't find it online. Well then, I am not going to make any promises, but I do have my notepad that I use for work here, and I'm going to write that down to see if I can find anything. Georgia Tech, UNC, 2009. So I'll let you know, Lance, if I can track that down anywhere. I have had a lot of people reach out to me for resources. I've tried to be more active on Twitter. Sometimes it feels kind of weird, but there's a good community of flexbone coaches and just coaches in general. Although recently it's been a little bit more political than football, considering many of us. Oh, hey, look, there's the rest of the Army schedule. Oh, I think I know why my brain went that way. Citadel is triple. Air Force is triple. Tulane, I know at one point was. Georgia Southern at one point was. And then Navy. Do I have another sound effect? I feel like I haven't had anything for a while. Well, let's see. Do my horns work yet? No. My rim shot works. My sad trombone works. Oh, actually, Lance, I should write your name down so I don't forget. I'm sure I could probably watch the recording, but I'm less likely to remember that way. I am excited. I have no idea, being able to just do workouts. Like, I think we're just getting approved by the state to be able to do like handoffs. So like we haven't even been able to practice like mesh or like take snaps from under center. I'm excited for our guys to be able to do that because it's been a while. Twitter handle, I have for the stream and all this, Flexbone 101, just at Flexbone 101. I doubt, that's where I do try to keep most of my football stuff there. I feel like most people don't care about like my politics or Michigan football or anything else that I keep off of there. So try to interact, try to answer questions. People always reach out. They're like, hey, do you have anything on like, what was the other day? Like Wishbone? And I was like, I don't really coach Wishbone. It's like I can kind of look through some resources. Anything for coaching. If you're not on, what's my favorite message board? Coach Huey, Huey, is probably the best one. There are so many coaches and just years and years of old posts. Specifically if you're looking offense, like how do you beat this defense? Like what do you run in this situation? And guys sharing playbooks, sharing film, everything from that to like, what's the best coach's gear to order your coaching staff? So I always recommend Coach Huey. That's where I learned a lot of Flexbone stuff, was just being a creep as like a 25-year-old, like on that board, trying to suck up as much information as I could find. It is funny how coaching's kind of a cult like that. Then you always get the one obnoxious young coach that's like, what's the best offense? And you're like, there is no best offense. It's all on like how you coach your kids and like what you do situationally. So they just, if you get on the board and ever see that and see someone reference the face melter, that's what they're talking about. They're pretty much just making fun of the person. So I'll save you from that embarrassment right now. Also a great search feature. You can search like years and years and years back. There's a good amount of Flexbone coaches there. I do not have as much time to lurk as I used to. Because now I actually have to work during the day as opposed to when I hated my job when I was in Wisconsin and did not. Yeah, and trying to... oh, it's final already? I clipped up that half fast. Holy cow. I didn't, like, miss anything, did I? I guess not. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's see. We're at halftime. My wife's on her way home, but she's not home yet, so... we can start actually looking at some of these plays. As far as Twitter goes, like, I kind of... this is, like, way more information than anyone cares about. But, got to figure out from the whole, you know, branding thing, if it makes more sense to try to stay as, like, Flexbone 101, or just go, like, something basic like Coach Carrick, and Flexbone 101 is just a, like, thing I put on. So getting that figured out too when it comes to like logo and branding and all of that fun stuff. Also, oh man, oh, because I'm hitting numbers, that's right. My hotkeys are not perfect yet. Still working those out. Also, the fun part is a lot of my players will either watch my stream or watch recordings, so shout out to any of my players that are watching currently. They used to just be able to leave comments on my videos and I would just make fun of them, but now it's harder to do in person unless they're in chat, because I can't really, I guess I could see who's on here, but that takes away from me actually editing. So I guess, yeah, we'll start at the beginning. I'll go through basically as much as I can until my until I have to run. So I'll probably, that's why. We've got on that, but every so often, you know, you get the eye strain. Anyone else that works in like IT that has to be staring at computer screens all day, just go with the, I guess I should throw these on the gear that I use. These are just Gunners. They're like I always call them nerd glasses, but they're like, theoretically, a lot of people that play video games professionally will wear them. And I only wear them after I've been staring at a screen all day. Oh, whoa, what was I rambling about? So this is just base. Oh, because I couldn't even, I was going cross-eyed staring at the screen. So base, this is zone dive, I think, on play one.
And you perked up yesterday and we talked on that very topic. The handoff on the...
yeah, it's just going to be zone dive on base. A lot of people like to ask about play calling. Zone dive is probably, you know, your safest play overall. Excuse me, one moment. I'm going to do... All right. Apologies for that. Every so often when you get a call from someone and you're like, I was not expecting that, so I hope nothing is wrong. Everything is great. Just wasn't, and this is my puppy who wants to come say hi. Ugh. Also, I don't know. I'm going to have to check the feed to see if you guys could actually hear what I was saying on the phone. Not that there was anything interesting, but just for future reference, I'm trying to get this figured out. So we've got tight left.
46 snaps, unreal.
First time in his career, high school or college, albeit he's early in his career.
I was watching the top guy, and that's not who I should have been watching.
Only 46 snaps, unreal.
First time in his career,
Oh, so they fake rocket to the left.
high school or college, albeit.
Come back with, what would you call that? Someone should probably help me out on this. I don't know what to call that because it's not triple because there's no fake. It's not a lead option because you're not really getting a lead. What does that play side A back do?
First time in his
Oh, because he's...
career, high
Oh,
school
no, it is
or
just a lead
college,
option.
albeit.
I'm an idiot. Ignore me. For some reason, I was thinking the play side A back counter motioned or twirl motioned if you're going through Paul Johnson's terminology, but he didn't. He just kept going, and then it was the B back that did the lead. Hey. I'm just gonna, he was tight at the top. We'll call it tight. So we're tight
It'll be
here.
a game they'll never forget.
Both sides.
In many ways, they hope.
Let's see. Is this an actual? Do they read anyone here?
They'll never forget.
In many ways, they hope.
That's midline. They don't block. This is fun. I always love doing this part. So they don't block this guy. You'll see that the guard comes down on this nose here, and this guy just kind of stays and tries to squeeze the air out of the gap. And so when he goes to tackle the B back, quarterback keeps, and then the A back also leads through the hole.
In many ways, they hope the good way. There's a nice play on defense.
Someone missed a block that probably should have been more open. And actually what I didn't check there, what did the tackle do? So the reason I wanted to double check here is just to make sure that it was wasn't mid triple. So they're actually, the tackle's fanning out on this DN, so you know it's not mid triple, but I didn't look at it the first time, so I just want. All right. That's funny. I just brought up Wishbone a little bit ago, and now look at Army in the Wishbone. For those of you that are unaware, and just because, one second, I don't have audio. Oh, I do have audio on this. So let's see if I can be sneaky here, right? So if I switch. So Navy is in Wishbone, which Flexbone is based out of Wishbone. However, instead of having all three backs in the backfield, they moved the two backs basically become the A backs. So you can still run your whole Flexbone set, just it has all three backs in the backfield, like they're going to have here, and I'll go back so you can see it. Right, so those are just your A backs. They're just, back from where they normally are. Your B back is normal distance, and everything should be the same. And I have no idea what they're going to run.
He made a
Or what.
solid play there.
This is triple.
Limiting Army to just a yard. There's Anderson near side. Slithers.
Actually,
Army to.
hold on. What does that play side A do?
He made a solid play there. Limiting Army to just a yard. There's Anderson near side. Slithers inside.
That's a pretty nice play. I like old school Wishbone. However, teams can stack the box. So not to get too far into philosophy, but bringing those two A-backs off the tackle as opposed to into the backfield, you can run the same thing, so you're able to use motion to get them in that same relationship. But the reason, Paul Johnson and others did that is so you have to decide whether you're going to play the formation as 3 running backs or 4 receivers. And you always have to keep a defense honest, because the ability to run 4 verticals, especially against any type of single high safety, is really hard. So howdy to Johnny, coming to hang out for a little bit. And what did I say? That was triple out of wishbone. Dirt. I hit something with my fat fingers. There we go. Man, typing is hard after you've been working all day. This is, so let's see, they're in tight, thanks CBS for not going to this right away. The way he's giving the ball, hold on, is there a block on that guy? I think this is just zone dive, because the A-back's just running forward. What did I just say? Tight. Yeah, Johnny, you didn't miss much. We're, early in the fourth quarter. I just cut everything up, and now we're going through. There's going to be some fun plays to look at here. We've got heavy right.
It's Middle Tennessee. Anderson gives it.
What is that play side A-back?
Last week against Middle Tennessee. Anderson gives it off. Last week against Middle Tennessee. Anderson gives it off. There it is.
I think that's just simple zone dive. It doesn't look like they're trying to read anyone. Except this is out of heavy. Heavy again.
That's the direction they want to go, the right side.
Cade Bernard's in it. The B back, the fullback spot. Anderson fakes to him. Anderson.
All right, so he quarterback keeps. Let's look at
In it.
footwork.
The B back.
Footwork looks like midline.
Cade Bernard's in it. The B back.
And they're trying, okay. So you'll see the play side guard here is going to rip underneath this guy.
Cade Bernard's in it.
Midline.
The B back.
And the
The
tackle
fullback
comes
spot.
out.
Anderson fakes to him. Anderson.
That's just midline out of heavy. At some point, I'm not sure how helpful this is, but I'm hoping, like, if someone watches, like, the finished video and they're like, I wonder why he called it this way. Or if someone yells at me that I'm an idiot, and I can go back and be like, oh, that's what I thought when I watched this play.
Up here on this opening march, as I like to say.
Oh, all right, reverse pivot.
8th play coming up here on this opening march, as I like to say, for Army. Jacoby.
So anytime you see the spin, there's a good chance it's down G. Down G does require to have a third person on the line there. So whether it's like in a heavy formation or whether that wide receiver is in tight, and then what makes it, if you missed it last time I talked about down G, how you can always tell, and Army runs this very well, is this play side guard is actually going to pull and pull one hole over and become a lead blocker.
On this opening march, as I like to say, for Army. Jacoby Buchanan, the human.
Nice. All right, heavy left.
Oh, he'll fall forward.
Yep. 260 pounds, and he didn't even have.
Let's see. That went to the B.
He'll fall forward.
He's
Yep.
getting blocked here.
260 pounds, and he didn't even have to fall.
it just looks like zone dive. There's no one being red there. All right.
Not on the
we got
perimeter
tight
yet
both
either. We might
sides.
see that soon.
Keep your eyes on Tyrell Robinson, number 21, he's in.
Let's see. Johnny says during the Army game they had some bad delay on the cadence to the video. I don't know. Is that in terms of the broadcast, like it being out of sync, or is it that they would jump back, you know, when they smash cut, the ball's already snapped? Because that's what I've noticed doing this film already.
Might see that soon.
Keep your eyes on Tyrell Robinson, number 21, he's. Keep your eyes on Tyrell Robinson, number 21, he's in the game.
That's zone dive. What was that? Out of tight. Yeah.
Get down an 8. And Anderson bobbled.
And they're just going to eat that. So, however, I unfortunately have to, and what formation? I guess it doesn't really matter what formation they were in, but it was base. I unfortunately have to take off. Thank you for watching. Like I mentioned, I'll probably finish up the rest of this at some point later this week and try to give advance notice. We've got some stream improvements. The Armchair Coaching Podcast with Darren Sheffer. We're recording Friday. Don't know when it'll be live, but week. Maybe tomorrow. Or tomorrow I'm at practice. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. If there's anything else that you guys want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.